not to continue to investigate something in the back when you cannot find any reason to impeach this president.
That's why today I am directing our House committee to open a formal impeachment inquiry into President Joe Biden.
So the evidence is very strong against Hunter Biden. There is very little evidence that links Hunter Biden with Joe Biden. But we have three committees right now, the Oversight Committee, the Judiciary Committee, and the Ways and Means Committee. They just haven't found that link yet with Joe Biden.
Oh, that's gonna hurt!
Okay, at this point, we've all enjoyed the debunking of the impeachment that never was, whether it be Democrats on the House floor.
Said he's going to
oh my God, really? Oh my gosh, it's devastating. Ooh, don't do it.
Is that instead of getting to work to fund the government, they're trying to impeach Hunter Biden, I think, which, spoiler alert, is not the president of the United States.
MSNBC hosts.
If you want to understand just how ridiculous and cynical this impeachment attempt is, let me introduce you to Republican Congressman Ken Buck of Colorado.
Or even Fox News liberal voice of sanity, Jessica Tarlov.
And I learned some new things, but it's strange that members of the Republican Party who serve in Congress don't agree with him. So much so that they're on record saying things like this. David Joyce, Congressman, I'm not seeing the facts or evidence. Dusty Johnson, there's a constitutional and legal test that you have to meet with evidence, and I haven't seen it. Don Bacon, there should be a direct link to the president and some of the evidence. I think we need to have more concrete evidence to go down that path.
But what about a Republican live on Fox debunking each point of, quote, damning evidence one by one, leaving the Fox News host looking like, well, Marjorie Taylor Greene doing simple math?
So the evidence is very strong against Hunter Biden. There is very little evidence that links Hunter Biden with Joe Biden. Hunter Biden received a lot of money from Burisma, a Ukrainian oil and gas company, and Joe Biden fired a Ukrainian prosecutor named Shokin. The theory, I guess, is that the Burisma paid money to Hunter Biden so that Joe Biden would fire Shokin because Shokin was investigating Burisma. One, there is little to no evidence that Shokin was investigating Burisma. Two, Shokin was targeted by the European Union as well as our State Department to be fired because he was more corrupt than the people he was investigating. And three, there is very little evidence to no evidence that suggests that Hunter Biden actually shared the money he got with Joe Biden so that Joe Biden would do something, or that Joe Biden knew that Hunter Biden was getting money so that Joe Biden would take these acts. That's what has to be investigated, and I'm all for the investigation, not an inquiry with the label of impeachment. But we have three committees right now, the Oversight Committee, the Judiciary Committee, and the Ways and Means Committee, that are investigating Hunter Biden's activities. And they're doing a great job. They're uncovering a lot of good information. They just haven't found that link yet with Joe Biden.
Unsatisfied with his rather stellar performance last week, Ken Buck, who, for the record, by the way, I stand firmly opposed to on almost everything, aside from the ridiculousness of this impeachment and our mutual interest in making fun of Marjorie Taylor Greene.
Marjorie Taylor Greene came out and said, we played the sound yesterday, that she's like, I'm not voting for any budget bill, no continuing resolution, nothing that doesn't involve the defunding of Jack Smith's special counsel office and everything that he's doing. Do you feel similarly about that issue as you do to defunding the FBI and the ATF and the DEA, et cetera?
So George, when I was teaching law school, I learned and taught certain constitutional principles. When Marjorie Taylor Greene was teaching CrossFit, she learned a whole different set of values, evidently, because my idea of what this country should be like is based on the Constitution. And she sees the world differently. She's criticized me for, voting to certify the election in 2020. The Constitution says Congress shall count the votes. It doesn't say Congress may overturn an election result. It doesn't say Congress can do whatever the heck it wants with this election. Shall count the votes. That's what the Constitution says. In her CrossFit class, maybe they didn't cover that.
He took the fight into the lion's den, into Fox News of all places, the echo chamber filled with eye-grabbing headlines like damning evidence, impeachment hearing, downfall imminent, only to air things like this.
Events, where is the quid pro quo?
lot of whistleblowers and more bank documents now showing alleging bribery there and more. What do you say? What do you see?
Well, again, that is a difficult thing to prove. What we are seeing is just mounting evidence. Senator Grassley and I laid out the vast web of financial foreign entanglements of the Bidens in our September 2020 report. The complicit and corrupt media ignored it. They covered up the Hunter Biden laptop.
And we aren't interested in whether or not the accusations against Vice President Biden are accurate or not. We're responsible for making sure the FBI does its job, and that's what we want to know.
Okay, Senator, let me stop you there. You just said you read the document, is that right?
Yes.
Then what did it say?
Well, I'm not going to characterize it. We're going
of what exactly the Biden family was doing with our adversaries in China.
Okay, we will see where the next chapter leads. James Comer, thank you for your time. It's rather incendiary, and we'll see whether or not you're onto something. Again, 5 years investigating. Nothing just yet.
But Ken Buck and many of his Republican colleagues are seemingly tired of the facade, the endless game of throwing faux outrage at the unbuilt border wall and hoping that something sticks.
2 days ago, you said that the time for impeachment is when there's evidence linking President Biden to a high crime or misdemeanor. You said, quote, that doesn't exist right now. Do you still feel that way tonight?
I have not seen any evidence that links President Biden to Hunter Biden's activities at this point. I will be getting a briefing later in the week. I'm looking forward to understanding more of what the Oversight Committee has uncovered. But at this point, I have not seen that evidence.
He maybe is onto the fact that people don't care. They care about the economy, booming, by the way.
In fact, only two presidents in American history with fewer jobs the day they left office than when they started. One was President Hoover, and the other was Donald Hoover Trump. Seriously, only two presidents in American history. And look, you may remember my predecessor promised to be the greatest job president in history. Well, it didn't really work out that way. He lost 2 million jobs over the course of his presidency, 2 million. We've created 13.4 million new jobs. We not only recovered all the jobs we lost during the pandemic, we've added millions more. We've seen record lows in unemployment, particularly, and I've focused on this my whole career, particularly for African Americans and Hispanic workers and veterans.
They care about workers' rights, lending support to unions. They care about lowering drug prices. They care about keeping schools safe, introducing red flag gun laws. They care about the right to choose, which, by the way, if you hadn't tuned in to NFL on Sunday, you missed quite the commercial.
In America, we love football, chicken wings, cold beer, and contraception. IUDs, the pill, condoms, they give us the freedom to make the right decisions for our families. But some politicians are threatening our right to contraception and fumbling our freedoms. Last year, 195 Republicans in Congress voted against protecting our right to contraception. This time around, we're watching. Find out where your senators stand on the Right to Contraception Act. Are they protecting your freedoms?
People are tired of the new butthurt emails. And while I won't expect these same Republicans to be singing the same tune come election year when their frontrunner has it on every billboard and t-shirt, it's worth noting now so that we can...
Hey Meidas Mighty, love this report? Continue the conversation by following us on Instagram @MeidasTouch to keep up with the most important news of the day. What are you waiting for? Follow us now.